The most important detoxification mineral in the world is probably not what you think. Most people assume detox is all about getting rid of toxins, heavy metals, chemicals, pollutants, pesticides. They think the problem is that they're exposed to too many toxins. But in most cases, that's not actually the real issue. The real problem is not that you have too many toxins. The real problem is that your body is not detoxifying properly. There is a massive difference between being overloaded with toxins and having a weak detoxification system. Your body is constantly exposed to toxins every single day, from the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food you eat, the products you put on your skin, and even the stress you experience. You cannot avoid toxins completely, that's impossible. But what you can control is how efficiently your body eliminates them. If detoxification was shaped like a pyramid, at the very top of that pyramid would be one master system, glutathione. Glutathione is often called the master antioxidant, the master detoxifier of the entire body. It is not just something that works in the liver. It works in every single cell of your body, and more importantly, it works inside the mitochondria, the energy factories inside your cells. This is critical because without healthy mitochondria, you cannot make energy. And without energy, you cannot detox. Glutathione's primary role is to protect your cells from oxidative damage. Your body naturally produces harmful compounds like hydrogen peroxide. Yes, the same substance you use on cuts and wounds. Your immune system uses hydrogen peroxide to kill microbes, but hydrogen peroxide is extremely corrosive. If it's not controlled, it will start damaging your own tissues. Glutathione neutralizes these dangerous compounds before they destroy your cells. It protects the membranes of your mitochondria. It protects the membranes of your cells. It protects the membranes of the structures inside your cells. It even protects the DNA inside your mitochondria. And this is huge because damaged mitochondrial DNA leads to aging, fatigue, inflammation, and chronic disease. Most antioxidants work like cleanup crews. They come in after damage has already happened. They mop up the mess. But glutathione works differently. It prevents damage from happening in the first place. That's why glutathione is so powerful. When your glutathione levels are low, toxins do not leave your body efficiently. Instead, they get stuck, they recirculate, they keep moving around in your bloodstream, your tissues, and your fat. And this is when symptoms start showing up. Chronic fatigue, brain fog, headaches, inflammation, low energy, poor recovery, accelerated aging. People who lose weight quickly, especially on keto or low-carb diets, often feel worse before they feel better. Why? Because fat stores toxins. When fat breaks down, toxins are released into circulation. If glutathione is low, those toxins don't leave. They just float around, making you feel awful. So people think, I must have too many toxins. I need another detox cleanse. I need a juice fast. I need some herbal detox tea. No, what you actually need is a stronger detoxification system. The most important job of glutathione is not even liver protection. Its most important role is protecting the mitochondria. Because mitochondrial dysfunction is linked to almost every chronic disease known to man, especially cancer, neurodegenerative diseases, autoimmune disorders, and metabolic conditions. There's a specific part of the mitochondria called the electron transport chain. This is the final stage of energy production where ATP is made. Toxins specifically attack this system. When this system is damaged, your body literally cannot generate enough energy to survive efficiently. And here's the trap: you need energy to detox, but toxins destroy your energy system. So you become stuck in a loop of toxicity. You're bathing in toxins, recirculating them, feeling exhausted, inflamed, and mentally foggy, while your body becomes weaker and weaker at detoxifying. This is why simply removing toxins doesn't work. You must upgrade the system that removes them. Now let's talk about something most people don't realize: lose. One of the biggest sources of toxicity in modern diets is seed oil. Seed oils embed themselves into your cell membranes. They oxidize easily. They create massive inflammation. They damage mitochondrial membranes. And once these damaged fats are in your tissues, they're extremely difficult to remove. Glutathione plays a major role in protecting your membranes from this oxidative damage. Without enough glutathione, your cell membranes literally fall apart under toxic stress. So why not just take glutathione as a supplement? Because it barely works. Glutathione is poorly absorbed in supplement form. It breaks down quickly in the digestive system. Most of it never even reaches your cells. Your body prefers to manufacture its own glutathione internally. Which brings us to the real question: how does your body make glutathione? Glutathione is made from 3 amino acids: cysteine, glycine, glutamate. Cysteine is the limiting factor, and the best source of cysteine comes from animal protein, especially red meat and organ meats. This is why people on low protein or plant-only diets often struggle with detoxification, fatigue, and immune dysfunction. But amino acids alone are not enough. There is one tiny trace mineral that determines whether glutathione works or not. A mineral so small, so overlooked, and so underestimated that almost nobody talks about it. And that mineral is selenium. Selenium is absolutely essential for the function of glutathione. Without selenium, glutathione cannot do its job. Selenium activates special enzymes called glutathione peroxidases, which allow glutathione to neutralize toxins, protect mitochondria, and regenerate itself. No selenium, non-functional glutathione. This is why selenium is one of the most important detox minerals on Earth. Detoxification, immune function, thyroid hormones, anti-cancer protection, DNA repair, mitochondrial health. Selenium deficiency leads to poor detox, weak immunity, low energy, accelerated aging, increased cancer risk. And the scary part, modern soils are severely depleted of selenium. Most food today contains far less selenium than it did 50 years ago. This means millions of people are walking around with subclinical selenium deficiency and don't even know it. They're tired, they're inflamed, they're foggy, they're detoxing poorly. But they keep blaming stress, age, or lifestyle when in reality their cellular detox system is simply missing one critical mineral. Selenium is not just helpful, it is foundational. Without selenium, your glutathione system collapses. And when glutathione collapses, detox collapses. And when detox collapses, your body slowly accumulates damage at the mitochondrial level, the DNA level, and the cellular membrane level. And this is where chronic disease truly begins. A trace mineral is a mineral that the body needs in extremely small amounts. We're not talking milligrams here, we're talking micrograms, tiny quantities that seem almost insignificant. But what's fascinating is that these tiny amounts control some of the most powerful biological systems in the entire body. One of the most critical trace minerals on Earth is selenium. Selenium is involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions, but one of its most important roles is the activation of glutathione, the master detoxification system of the body. Without selenium, glutathione cannot function properly. It becomes weak, inefficient, and unstable. Most people think of selenium only in relation to the thyroid. And yes, selenium is essential for converting the thyroid hormone T4 into its active form T3. But what most people do not realize is that the thyroid is directly connected to your ability to detoxify. If your thyroid is underfunctioning, your body cannot produce enough bile. And bile is the primary highway for removing toxins from the body. Bile is produced in the liver and stored in the gallbladder. When you eat, bile is released into the small intestine where it binds to fat-soluble toxins and carries them out of the body through the intestinal tract. Without enough bile, toxins stay trapped inside the liver and recirculate through the bloodstream. This is why people with hypothyroidism often suffer from constipation. It's not just a digestion problem, it's a detox problem. Without proper thyroid function, bile flow slows down, and when bile slows down, detoxification shuts down. But it gets even deeper. It's not just the production of bile that depends on the thyroid. The flow of bile depends on it too. Even the contraction of the gallbladder is regulated by thyroid hormones. This means that if your thyroid is sluggish, your gallbladder becomes sluggish and bile becomes stagnant. Stagnant bile leads to gallstones. Gallstones lead to pain under the right rib cage. That pain often travels up to the neck and head. And people end up with right-sided headaches, migraines, and nausea. And they think it's stress or posture or dehydration, but it's actually bile congestion. There's even a small valve between the gallbladder and the small intestine that regulates bile release. This valve is also influenced by thyroid hormones. So once again, everything comes back to thyroid function, and selenium sits right at the center of that system. This is why selenium is not just important for the thyroid, it is essential for detoxification itself. Now let's talk about sources of selenium. The best natural source of selenium on the planet is Brazil nuts. Just 2 Brazil nuts per day can provide all the selenium your body needs. That's how powerful they are. Other good sources include high-quality eggs, organ meats like liver and kidney, shellfish and seafood, certain fish, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cabbage. Interestingly, fish that contain higher levels of mercury also tend to contain higher levels of selenium. Why? Because selenium binds to mercury and neutralizes it. This is nature's built-in detox system. But here's the big problem. Modern soils are severely depleted of selenium. Over-farming, chemical fertilizers, and poor soil regeneration have stripped minerals from our food supply. So even if you eat healthy, you may still be deficient in selenium without realizing it. And selenium deficiency affects everything. Weak detoxification, sluggish thyroid, low immune function, chronic fatigue, poor recovery, accelerated aging, higher risk of cancer. This is why the real problem today is not toxic overload. The real problem is detox system failure. People are swimming in plastics, pesticides, insecticides, forever chemicals, heavy metals, and ultra-processed foods. But instead of strengthening the body's detox machinery, they chase quick fixes, juice cleanses, detox teas, and miracle supplements. And that's why so many people feel worse after detoxing, because detox without bile is dangerous. If you start releasing toxins from your liver but don't have enough bile to carry them out, those toxins back up in the liver. This causes intense pressure under the right rib cage, headaches, nausea, brain fog, and fatigue. You feel toxic because your body opened the floodgates but couldn't drain the system. That's why any serious detox must support bile first. Some people use bile salts or ox bile before detoxing to stimulate bile flow. Others focus on improving gut health because your gut microbes also produce bile. In fact, nearly 90% of bile is recycled in the body through a system called enterohepatic circulation. So detox is not just about the liver. It's not just about supplements. It's not just about diet. It's about the entire system. Thyroid function, selenium levels, glutathione production, bile flow, gut microbiome, mitochondrial health. If even one of these pieces is missing, detox fails. And in today's world, avoiding toxins completely is impossible. You would have to live in a bubble. No plastics, no processed food, no pollution, no stress, no chemicals. That's not realistic. So the smart approach is not avoidance. The smart approach is fortification. Strengthen your detoxification system so your body can handle the toxic load of modern life. Give it the raw materials it needs. Build stronger mitochondria, activate glutathione, support bile flow, and most importantly, don't ignore selenium. Because without selenium, your entire detox system collapses quietly, slowly, and invisibly. You don't feel it right away, but over time it shows up as fatigue, as inflammation, as brain fog, as hormonal problems, as immune weakness, as chronic disease. And the tragedy is that all of this can begin from a tiny trace mineral deficiency that almost nobody talks about. If this information helped you understand detoxification at a deeper level, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more science-based health insights. And don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share this with someone you care about, because one small piece of information like this can literally change someone's long-term health.